I've got a new spreadsheet to go through with you today, so do stay tuned. So welcome back to the channel, folks. JD here again with another car finance video for you. I hope you're all safe and well. What I want to do today is go through a new spreadsheet which I've now got available for purchase, just the same as with the PCP spreadsheet. So one-off payment of £10 gets you unlimited updates to the sheet that I care to make. And basically what it is a sheet which enables you to compare a standard kind of salary stroke car allowance scheme where you have to pay for your own car, you have to pay for the finance, the running costs, etc., versus running a electric vehicle through a company salary sacrifice scheme. Obviously your company's got to offer the salary sacrifice scheme in the first place, but this will enable you to see whether it's worth moving over to such a scheme. And as you'll see, there can be some quite considerable savings, and it might also mean that you can get yourself into a more expensive car that you might not ordinarily be able to afford. So what we'll do, we'll look at the standard kind of way of buying a car, and then we'll look at the same kind of scenario, same kind of salary, etc. But what happens if we salary sacrifice an amount of that salary and pay for an electric vehicle instead? So first and foremost, what the spreadsheet does, very similar to the previous spreadsheet, which you can still email me for a copy of if you haven't yet done so. You basically fill in all the grey squares on that spreadsheet. On this new spreadsheet, you fill in all the blue boxes, and there's not many to fill in. It's really quite straightforward to use. First and foremost, we enter our tax code. Now for this example, I'm going to assume that you're a standard taxpayer, you've got a standard personal allowance, which for 2021 in the UK is 12,050L. That basically means you multiply your tax code by 10 effectively, so that means the first £12,500 of your earnings you will not pay any income tax on, and it's about the same threshold for national insurance as well. It then enables us to enter a pension contribution. So let's say we normally pay 5% pension. We then enter our yearly gross salary. So let's say for this example, £35,000 a year. Then it gives us an option to enter a separate car allowance figure. So some employers will give you an additional amount on your salary for a car allowance. But the problem with the car allowance is most of the time it's still subject to tax and national insurance. So let's say we are given a car allowance of £400 a month. So that's £4,800 a year. Because that's subject to tax and national insurance, you're not going to have £400 in your pocket to spend on your car. I'll show you how much it actually is in a minute. So it works out all of our tax. So you can see it saying we're going to pay £375 a month in tax. We're not going to pay any tax at 40%, and that's because currently, providing you've got a standard tax code, for the next £37,500 a year, you only pay tax at 20%. So because we're only earning a total effective salary of £39,800, we are not paying any tax at 40%. We'll do another example in a minute for a higher rate taxpayer. So it tells us our tax is 375, it works out our national insurance, it works out our pension based on 5%, but it bases that pension rate on the gross salary, not the gross salary with the car allowance. Okay, so you're only paying 5% in this example of 35 grand, not 39,800. It then also gives us our effective salary if we pay tax and national insurance on our car allowance as well. So this is based, all these figures here are based on our standard salary. These figures are based on our salary with our car allowance. So you can see our net pay, if we were earning 39,800, which is 35 plus the 4.8 car allowance, we would come out with 2,412, give or take a few pence, okay? So as you can see, if we do a very simple calculation, if we subtract 2,412.99 from 2,140.99, 2,412.99 minus 2,140.99, There you go. That's how much your £400 a month car allowance actually means to you in your pocket, £272. Okay? So then let's say we take our take-home pay of £241,299 and we've got to run a car. So let's say we've got a personal loan and it's £300 a month. We pay £25 a month car insurance. We pay £150 a year, which is £12.50 a month for road tax. Let's say it's a diesel car, reasonable economy, 45 mpg, you can put whatever you like in there. And let's say we're currently paying, I don't know, 1.209 per litre. That will automatically tell me, look, that we are paying £5.49 a gallon for fuel. How many miles a month do we do? Let's say we do 750 miles a month. So that tells me, excuse me, that we need to use about 17 gallons of diesel a month, and that's going to cost us £91.58. So it adds all of these running costs up. Oh, and we might have a bit for service as well. Let's say we put away 20 quid a month for servicing the car. So that adds up all of those outgoings, tells me that my car is effectively costing me £449.08 per month, but we're only given 272 in our net pay. So that's when we start thinking, is there a better way, if our company offers such a scheme, of getting into an electric vehicle? So let's just go over to this side of the spreadsheet. It's automatically populated everything from the same example, so £35,000 a year gross salary, 4,800 car allowance, which gives us again a total gross salary of 39,800. How much do we want to salary sacrifice? Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll say, and it probably would be unlikely, but for the first example, let's say we are going to salary sacrifice exactly £400. Let's say we can get into an electric vehicle. You might for £400 a month. But remember, usually a salary sacrifice car scheme includes everything. So it includes tyres, it includes insurance, it includes servicing, everything's included. So let's say it's £400 a month. We'll try a more expensive car in a minute. So, sorry, 4,800, not £400 a year. So again, our taxable salary is now 35,000. So we are not paying any tax or any national insurance on this £4,800. It's being taken off us before we get paid. So £400 is going directly to pay for our car. Then we come to P11D. So if you're not sure what P11D is, I've done some other videos on this, but essentially when you sacrifice a proportion of your salary, or when you were given a benefit which has got a monetary value, you have to declare that, or your employer will declare that on a P11D. And whatever the taxable value of that benefit is will come off your tax code. So you'll start to pay tax a little bit earlier. But as you can see, for 21-22, currently it's 0%, but I'm going to base this on next year. For 21 and 22, sorry, for tax year 21-22, it's 1%. For 22-23, and I think up to 2025, it's 2%. Now, you might not really understand what that means, but if I was to tell you the benefit in kind on, say, a BMW 520 diesel is 31%, if I remember rightly, you can see the tax is much, much lower. So what you do is you put the P11D value of your electric vehicle in, and that will come from the leasing company. Let's say it's £40,000. So we take 1% of that, so our benefit in kind tax is £400. But we don't pay £400 a year. That's the amount that comes off our tax code. So you can see earlier our standard tax code was 1250L or 12,500. We take £400 off that, which is our 1% of our P11D value of our electric car. I hope you're keeping up with this. So we take £400 off our personal allowance. If you're a 20% taxpayer, that means you pay 20% of £400, which is £80 a year. So you can see the tax is quite small. And when it goes up to 2%, it's only going to be £160 a year. Right, So we've put all these details in. It's told me now, look, that my revised tax code is now 1210L. So we're just paying tax a little bit earlier. So you can see our tax has gone up from 375 a month to 381. Yeah, so it's coming out at about £11 a month. So our net pay in this situation is 2134.33. Now you're going to say to me, well, yeah, but that's less than 2412. Well, of course it is, but our car's already paid for. If you remember, under the old scheme, the first example, our net pay was 1963. So all we've got to do with the electric vehicle is put some juice in it, put some electricity into it. So let's say typical electric vehicle might get 3 miles per kilowatt hour. So for every 1 unit of electricity, you can travel 3 miles. How much are we paying for our electricity? Well, if you've seen any of my other videos, and if you're not already with Octopus Energy, if you follow my link in the description, you can get yourself a £50 credit. And they offer you 2 different kind of EV charging tariffs. I'm with Octopus Go. There is one called Octopus Agile, which is a flexible tariff which changes at every half an hour interval. But the nice thing about Octopus Go is it's fixed at 5 pence per unit between 12:30 in the morning and 4:30 in the morning. So let's say we've got a smart charge and we tell the car to only charge between 12:30 and 4:30 a.m. So we're going to pay 5 pence per unit. Basically then, because we've got 3 miles per unit electricity, rounded up, that's about 2 pence per mile. We said earlier that we were going to travel 750 miles a month. So that's automatically populated. So our electricity cost is going to be £12.50 a month versus £91.58. Okay? So our total net pay now, after we've salary sacrificed a fully maintained car, we haven't got to worry about tyres, insurance, anything. We've just got to spend about 12 quid on electricity. You can see we're £157 a month better off for exactly the same gross salary. Now, let's see what happens, because £400 a month is not a lot for a company salary sacrifice scheme. If you're looking at something like I was looking at a Polestar 2. They had a value, I think, don't quote me, it might have gone up now, but it was about £530 a month, which works out at £6,360 a year we're going to salary sacrifice, which means our tax bill is coming down even more because we're taking off more of our gross pay to pay for our car, and then there's less to give to the tax man. So a Polestar has a P11D value of about 45,000-ish. So again, our tax is going up very slightly, but it's negligible. So we were paying £300 a month on a personal loan. That's not going to get you a huge amount, is it? Even on a PCP, it's not going to get you into a Polestar, which is a 45 grand car, unless you put a huge deposit in, which, as you know, I don't really go along with. Our net pay now is 2,045.09, 3 miles per kilowatt hour. We're still £68 a month better off, and we've got ourselves into a £45,000 car, fully maintained, nothing to worry about, no road tax because it's an EV car, versus taking our car allowance, being taxed, having to pay national insurance on it, and then having to sort everything out ourselves. Let's take another example. Let's say you're a higher rate taxpayer. Let's say you earn £60,000 a year and you get a car allowance of £500 a month, so that's £6,000 a year. And you've got quite an expensive PCP, so let's say it's £500 a month. We'll keep everything else the same. And we're going to salary sacrifice the same kind of amount. So we've got a £6,000 car allowance. We're going to salary sacrifice what I said earlier, which was £530 a month. You can find these figures from specialist salary sacrifice leasing companies. What I would say is don't take the price that you'll find on somewhere like Lease Loco, which I've been talking about lately, because they're a bit lower because they don't take into account maintenance usually and insurance, and often salary sacrifice schemes will have leaver protection built in as well. So that means, say you quit your job or you get made redundant, the company isn't liable for that asset. They can hand it back to the leasing company. So there's a bit of insurance built into the price as well. So let's say it's $530 a month. Everything else is the same. We are now £314 a month better off. We're paying £500 a month on a PCP plus all the running costs versus paying £530 a month on a fully maintained car. In this case, it was a Polestar. As I say, don't quote me on that figure. You'll probably find it's gone up. I mean, I'm sure it was $530 when I checked a few months ago. You're going to be £314 a month in this example. So I hope that is a useful spreadsheet. I hope that's going to prove useful to people if you are thinking about moving over to an electric vehicle, moving over to a company car scheme. Is it actually worth doing? You can put in any tax code you like, you can put in any pension contribution you like, any salary you like. I think I've tested it, but if anyone purchases it and finds something doesn't work, obviously I'll make a change straight away. But if you are interested in getting a copy of this, do email me here. There'll be an auto reply with instructions. I'll send you an invoice for the £10 like I've done with previous purchases of the previous spreadsheet, and I hope it will prove really useful. I've really enjoyed getting my head around this. Took a bit of working out, but it's certainly useful, and I'm certainly going to use it myself when I start thinking about whether I'm going to go down the salary sacrifice route as well. So I hope that was useful. I hope that was interesting. Please do subscribe. If you haven't already done so, hit that bell icon so you're notified as and when new videos are released. Send me an email here if you've got any other questions about your existing car finance, and I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.